All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a preview, this time of United's visit to the Emirates. And man, never has an Arsenal versus Man United game been met with so much unenthusiasm from both sets of supporters, really. But at least in United's case, they still have a potential. In fact, they've confirmed it now, so they still have a UEFA Cup final to look forward to. Well, they've got through the first leg, but in true Jose fashion, I fully expect them to get there. So, man, it's about as lackluster as me doing reviews when I'm this ill at the moment. As you can see, when I'm ill, it shows all over. I look even more ugly than usual. So, apologies for what's going on here. For me, it's just about getting through to the rest of the season. Literally, I'm just counting down weeks until we finish the end of the season. I think most Arsenal fans have almost come to the realization, even though there's a supposed planned protest ahead of tomorrow's game about Arsene Wenger and the fact that he'll probably sign the papers, and the board are just waiting for a appropriate time to answer. I tell you, I'd be so disappointed, but I'm starting to realize that is indeed the case myself. What I'm hoping is that when he does announce it, that he says it's his last contract. It's only for 12 months, is what I'm hoping. And that there's some sort of transitional plan as to the person who's going to take over the following season. Those are the things that I'm hoping for. I admit it's a long shot, but if we're going to really start to kind of make some sort of acceptance for our situation, this is kind of the reasoning that I've gone with. Anyway, I digress. Man United versus Arsenal. For me, the performance against Tottenham was so disappointing. I think you have to make changes. This is not one of those ones where Wenger will persist, even though something's not working, because the rationale of that makes absolutely no sense. And I hope that he at least says to himself, all right, end of the season, nothing to lose. I might as well try some different things. Oh, and by the way, somebody brought this up in my review of the Tottenham game. If you've not yet watched it, go back and watch it. About my comments about Giroud. I'm going to lie to you. The person I was angry most with was Giroud in that game. I felt like for those of you guys who are Giroud fans, it will just turn into a Giroud bashing session. I would need a whole video to describe how much this man is pissing me off. The man is more worried about his hairstyle than making sure he gets something on target. And I don't think personally it's any coincidence that ever since he's put his name on a dotted line to that contract, where presumably he's gotten more money, suddenly his form has declined. Because before that, he was banging in goals like it was nothing. Now, he's just a passenger. For me, him and his boy Ramsey, because I noticed they get on really well, they ain't getting in my starting lineup. I'm sorry. With that being said, let me go into my 1 to 11. I'm going to stick with 3 at the back. I'm not going to go with Netu. I saw your 1 to 11. I'm like, this guy has finally lost his mind. Anyway, my 1 to 11. I'm going with Czech at the back in goal. I thought he performed really well against Tottenham. There's no point in changing it. My 3 defenders, let's be real. If he has sense, he will go with these 3. in that Gabriel, who I don't think had a great game against Spurs, but then neither did anyone else. And quite frankly, we don't have any other options because Mustafi's, what's going on with Mustafi at the moment. Koscielny, because allegedly is our best defender. I used the word allegedly. And Rob Holding, who has to be the future. Let's stop cutting the legs from up under this kid. And he's proved himself against top teams that he can perform well. I don't understand now why we're holding him back. Let's see what this kid can really do. Why not just give him a run between now and the end of the season? Why not? Literally, why not? If we're going to stick with this three at the back, why not start him? For me, he's my number one central defender. So Rob Holding starts in my central defence. Right wing back. This is where all of you will disagree. But you'll see why I've made this decision. Bellerin goes out right wing back. I don't think he had a great game last time he played there. But I think long-term, Ox is not our right wing back. I think long-term, Ox is our central midfielder, which probably supports where I'm going to play him. And I think ultimately you need to start grooming. I hate using that word. You need to start developing Hector in that position. So for me, I would put Hector as our right wing back. Over on that left wing back, put Nacho there. I don't even know why he changed it. I mean, don't get me wrong. And listen, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I remember my words. I did say at the time that, if Nacho does go in there, I'll be disappointed for Rob Holding. Was my bar. But I wouldn't be too disappointed seeing Nacho as that third centre-back role. And to be fair, he was not exactly the worst player on the pitch last weekend. So I still stand by that element of things. But I just felt like Nacho had just started to find his feet in that position. Why would you change that? Like, why would you change that? And Gibbs, I'm sorry, man. I think it's the end of the line for you. I'm in a long-time support of Gibbs. I just don't see anything from him. I think he's basic at best. And I feel like this will be his last season at Arsenal, to be honest. So Nacho goes as left back. My central pairing. No Ramsey ain't getting my team. Let me devastate you now with that piece of news. Ramsey ain't in my team. I know that Xhaka has an ankle injury and will be out for at least a couple of weeks. For me, I'd make some changes. Coquelin ain't getting my team, though. I'd play El Nene and I'd play Ox, because why not? I know a lot of people worry about El Nene playing against the likes of your Pogbas and your Carricks and people like that. I just think El Nene is a more clever player than people give him credit for. I know he's not as combative as Coquelin is, but I find Coquelin a frustrating player to watch. I do believe he can be coached to play the game correctly. But Wenger has shown that he gives him too much free rein to stop galloping. Honestly, if you see how it annoys me whenever I see Coquelin do some sort of stupid Hollywood pass or start galloping forward. And in my mind, I'm thinking, brother, where are you going? Why don't you come back? First of all, you don't have the ability to do that. So that's number one. And number two, your DM, fullback. Gosh, if there are two DMs, and it pains me to say it, but if there are two DMs Coquelin needs to start watching tapes for, Kante is obviously one. But I tell you what, after the number he did to us last weekend, Wanyama, ironically a player we were linked with. Gosh, I'm waiting for that Wenger story. Trust me, I'm waiting for that Wenger. Oh, we nearly signed Victor Wanyama story. Wanyama is the other one he needs to be watching. So for me, I wouldn't put Coquelin in there. I would play El Nene and I'd play Ox there. I think that could be a good combination, potentially. And I just think El Nene is a more intelligent player than Coquelin. And I think when he sees that Ox is galloping forward, he'll be able to control himself a little bit better. Um, to quote my boy Lee, the superstar ain't getting in my team. That petulant motherfucker can sit on the bench. I'm gonna bring back Wobes. I'll bring him back because you might be sat there thinking, oh no, not a Wobie. Listen, the way I see it is clearly Wenger. I don't know what has happened with Wenger. I don't know, but he suddenly put Wobie in the under 23s, and then he won't get in match day squads, and maybe that was his way of just belatedly, admittedly belatedly, but just teaching Iwobi a bit of a lesson. Maybe Iwobi got a bit full of himself, a bit arrogant, stopped working as hard as he normally does. Let's bring him back. Can he be any worse than Ozil in that position? I'm all for Iwobi coming in because of who I've got up front. And those two tend to play well together, which is why I'm going to start Iwobi in that position. Let's face it, Ozil don't get in my team. I told you guys in my review in that Tottenham game, you don't get in my team because of the name you have. You get in my team because you're a decent player. And Iwobi's a decent player. Never mind the BS he's had this season. He's a good player to watch. You'll see. Sanchez plays next to him because, of course, I need to see a better performances from Sanchez. You guys know me. I went off on one yesterday. I want to see a better performance from Sanchez. And up front, I'm going with Welbs, that guy. For the sheer fact that we all know he's not a finisher, but he gives everything else. You know, for all the people saying, oh, he's not that skillful, is Giroud really that skillful? He pulls off a wonder goal every now and again. Honestly, my cousin honestly believes he's the flukiest player. Like, Giroud is the flukiest player ever. Because he doesn't show that level of skill over a consistent basis. So every now and again, when he scores one of his wonder goals, it's almost like he just decided, fuck it, let me try something new and see if it comes off. And, you know, every now and again, you hit a three-pointer, I guess. So, honestly, Giroud, I try and defend this guy. I try and not be overly too critical of this guy. But the performances that he's had since he signed that contract have been unacceptable. And much like a lot of people have said today, if Marseille are really dead serious about buying Olivier Giroud, please let this motherfucker go. Please let this motherfucker go. Especially if it means Perez stays as well. And that's pretty much it from me. Not really, pretty uninspired preview. I know. I'm going to try and have Stel on with me to do the review on Sunday night. So do stay tuned for that. It'll be the first time I do a review with him. So as you guys know, he's a United fan. The last time he was on with Robbie Richmond, but Stel caused a mini riot in this motherfucker. So we're going to try and hopefully he doesn't say any more wild shit like De Gea isn't world class. My gosh, you had Arsenal fans defending United keeper. Tell you, Stel. Only you, Stel, could produce that reaction. All right, well, I'm going to leave you guys to it. Rambled on enough and taken enough of your Friday night, particularly if you're watching me live. If you listen to me for the first time, hit that subscribe button. And if you're on Twitter, do follow me at Colossal Chig. That's CHIG. Handles in the description below. All right, people, I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.